Phoebe Buffay is a liar. It's Valentine's Day right around the corner and I feel like I have to clear something up. We've all been lied to. I believed it when I was young and watching Friends. But lobsters do not mate for life. Phoebe Buffay was wrong. The stark reality is pretty different to what we're expecting. So if you think that your partner is your lobster, after this video, you might want to think again. So lobsters don't actually mate for life. They mate whenever their shell regrows. So for lobsters to grow, they're encased in a shell, they have to lose the shell, grow really big and then grow another shell. That happens in about a week. Now during this week window, when everything is available and there, then lobsters can mate, and during this period they will mate with a lot of different lobsters, and then that week will be over, their shells will go back and they will move on. So if you're looking for a long-term, stable, romantic partner that mate for life and never leaves you, maybe you're not looking for a lobster. If you're just looking for a fun week, okay, you get the picture, I'll leave it there. But I don't want to leave you heartbroken at Phoebe Buffay's treachery, but of course we still love her, Phoebe. And you don't know what to call your partner, romantic interest. What sea creature could we call them? Well, that's where now I come in. Here are 5 of the most romantic sea creatures that are really romantic and I think are winning names for you or your partner. I just rechecked the order of my list and make sure you stick around to the end because number 5 is my absolute favourite. Oh, it is so cute and adorable. Number 1 is a familiar face. I definitely thought I should give you something familiar, going that we're leaving our treasured lobsters behind and moving on to better things. And we're moving on to otters. Otters are actually monogamous. That means they mate for life, which even just, I don't know, makes them more adorable because they form a family unit too. So the oldest sibling in the bunch will stay behind instead of moving on and forming their own family for a little bit to help look after the siblings, and they become this really sweet, cute family bond. And I think that is utterly adorable. So that is our number 1. Number 2 is the cheeriest relationship in our oceans. Really super cheery. So the boxer crab is this awesome little crab that has some very awesome friends in the form of anemones that look like little pom-poms of his claws. Now these anemones get the lush anemone life. They get to move around, they get to go to all the best restaurants and sample all of the different planktonic food from all the places that they visit, and they get a wonderful big scary crab to look after them. And the crab itself gets a little more zing or sting into its relationship because the anemone itself can sting predators, and this little crab gets a nice extra jolt in its efforts to keep big scary things at bay. What a great relationship, and how awesome, it just looks like a cheerleader. I want that little crab following me around with that anemone, just telling me how awesome I'm doing, even if I'm not. That's what we all need. We all need this in our lives. Now this next one gets a little bit heartbreaking, so before we kind of move on to that, I wanted to just remind you guys to subscribe to my channel. I produce weekly videos every single Wednesday on marine creatures and marine life. We go outside exploring and meet the creatures in real life and draw them and paint our way through the oceans. So if that's something that interests you, and if you like these weird and wonderful facts, there are plenty on this channel. So share the love and subscribe. So number 3 is a little bit heartbreaking, but like Titanic, I will go down with this ship. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. I haven't even seen Titanic. Anyway, the next species I want to talk about is the glass sponge shrimp. Now these guys, as tiny pelagic larvae, go into a glass sponge shrimp, which is this intricate and beautiful sponge full of kind of crisscrossed wires, and then it grows up in the sponge with another shrimp and eventually has children of their own that can fit out of the sponge and go find their own sponges to live in, but the adults become too big to leave. So these guys can fall in love, spend their entire lives together and never be apart. But let's be honest, they're not really going to be able to travel the world, and I really wouldn't want to be there if they had an argument. But I'm sure that being together makes up for all that. But it is a little bit heartbreaking, and why I've chosen to call the drawing in this one "Till Death Do Us Part." Number 4 are French angelfish, which are renowned in the diving world and marine biology world for always being together. These fish look very similar and will swim very close together and do absolutely everything together. They will feed together, they will protect their territory together, they will swim together, and it's really quite a sweet bond that these guys stick so unbelievably close together. You could say that their relationship is heavenly. Or not, because that's getting too cheesy. It's too much. Too much. Now, I said to stick around to number 5 because it's my absolute favourite, and it is true. This is just one of the sweetest stories in the entire ocean. And the second time that shrimp appears on our list. Pistol shrimp are a tropical type of shrimp that likes to live in a sandy burrow, but usually kind of on a flat sandy plain, which isn't really surrounded by much. And this guy can't really see. It's pretty much an almost blind organism. So going out and looking for food is really dangerous because it can't see anything. I'm not quite sure why it picks to build its burrow there, but it's found a way around it because it makes friends with a goby. So a goby is a type of fish, and they buddy up and pair up together, and that shrimp is never separated from the goby. It uses its antenna to always touch the goby at all times, and that means that the shrimp can come out and it can look for food and it can live its life outside its burrow, and it will always have its fish there kind of protecting it, help guide it, and when a predator comes along that's too big enough for the both of them, it will even give a little warning wiggle. The little goby goes ooh, and the shrimp and the goby will know to disappear and go back into the burrow. And then the goby gets a nice cozy little home with its friend to live its life in peace. And I think it's such an incredible and sweet story, not only because how cute is that, but also because it's a vertebrate and an invertebrate teaming up together. Now that doesn't seem like much of a thing, but these things are so opposite in their evolution that it's really, really amazing that two species that are almost very different can come together and live their lives in a way that really works. And it's a great example of kind of how behavioural evolution is kind of contradicting that actual evolution, and I think it's really, really amazing. So what are you? Are you and your partner and your family all really close-knit and the perfect Valentines for one another? Are you all utterly in love? Or do you prefer to stay at home, never leave, and never be apart from your partner, and would make a perfect glass sponge shrimp couple? Let me know in the comments below what your new favourite name is going to be for you and your partner. I will see you this time next week for another video, because I post every single Wednesday. Much love from me. Goodbye.